Well, hello, happy Monday. We are into February. Welcome to our Monday evening Wonderful Worlds of Akashic Records. I'm a little bit early. I'm rarely early, but I'm a little bit early today. Even a minute is early. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you all have joined. We got lots of questions sent in for today that I'm eager to get to. So to get started, I will read the Akashic Prayer and take a moment there to connect. Like always, close your eyes if it feels right to you. Let yourself relax, and then we'll see what the guides want to bring in, and then we'll hop to the questions. So here we go. I'm not wasting time today. Can you tell? And I have the windows open. I don't know if you can tell. Let me see if I'll put you. It is so beautiful here. We are having, I guess in Atlanta, that fall spring they call it. But oh my gosh, we have the windows open, the doors open, the breezes are coming through. It's amazing. So, okay. I ask God if He will have His shield of love and truth around you permanently, so only God's love and truth will exist between you and me. I allow the masters, teachers, and loved ones of you to channel through me out of whatever realm to say whatever they wish. I ask the permission of the Lords of the Akashic Records so I'm able to look into the records of you and remove whatever information I'm allowed. Okay, let's see here. Hi, you guys. Thanks for joining. Okay, give me a second here. All right. Okay, let's see what message the guides want to start off with this week. Hang on. Okay. All right. Let's see here. I just keep getting an image right now, and I'm not sure how to interpret it. It's so funny because normally the guides are pretty verbal and they come forth with a message right away. But this time they're just giving me an image. It's like they said, even though we think of the divine or everyone in spirit as all of this one emotion, love, like they're restored to that one true, pure emotion of love, the guides are telling me that they still have feelings. They still care deeply about people here and our journeys here and what's going on in the world, individually, but collectively. And they're showing me it's like there's a whole collective of spirits focused on the earth, focused on the planet, and they're crying. They said there's tears, tears, tears just falling. They said this is happening energetically right now, but that rain will be on the horizon. It looks like a lot of rain is coming. Now, that may be typical for this time of year. I don't know, but that's what they're telling me, that the rain is coming, and they want you to understand. Oh my gosh, the wind just started blowing my curtains across the room. Um, they are in the wind too, which is so interesting. So I would say they have clearly joined us, but the tears they said are just falling, falling, falling. And I think we even talked about tears a little bit last time, how tears are very healing. They allow us to release emotions that we can't necessarily express. And while they can't necessarily express verbally, they can express through their tears. But they said to watch for rain, and that will be a physical manifestation of the tears that they're feeling, not only for what's going on here, but they said they're helping us process our own feelings with how we are feeling about things going on in the world. So they also want to emphasize this is not the case behind every rain or every rainfall. It's not always tears from heaven, so to speak, but often it is. And they said so many times we hear on the earth are having such big emotions, or I can't think of another word besides feelings. That's all I'm getting to use. and we don't know how to handle it or deal with it. They said that one of the things that they do is handle it for us. Um, and this is the way. So sometimes nature is a real expression of that. So does that mean when we have tornadoes or hurricanes or floods that there's just necessarily a flood of emotions they're dealing with or bringing to the earth? They said in a little bit of a way that's a stretch, but if you think about it, they said as we've had natural disasters, obviously those things happen as change agents, wake up calls. There's a little bit of a stretch that we could say, are the collective of people here feeling such strong emotions that it manifests a natural disaster? They said it's a stretch to say that, but yes. Can they explain it? Not quite. Is it something we would understand? They said no. But just know we are we are all one here. The thought that I have affects the thought that you have, and all the way around the world. And this is where we don't understand how we can, just by a thought, word, or action, have impact around the world. Are we learning that language more and more and more? Yes. Is this time with Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, we're moving into this Aquarian, focused time of being here? Will we get closer to understanding that concept? Yes. So this is really exciting times to be here. And they said, so when you see the rain coming in the next few weeks, to feel a sense of reassurance and to just allow yourself to release with that, and know that there is great concern and compassion for what we're seeing in the world right now. And we are not alone here in our thoughts and feelings with that. And there really is a collective effort, both in the physical and the non-physical, to move towards harmony and peace. Will it ever be 100% harmony and peaceful on the planet? No, because we are living in, duality. I mean, this is what our experience here is about. And so we are always going to be reaching for something that's opposed to something we don't want, if that makes sense. There's always going to be something we're moving towards, always something we're going to be moving away from. And that is the nature of being here and being human. Yet, can we, if we're looking at the scale of harmony and peace to destruction and chaos, we don't have to hang out in the middle. We can move closer and closer to that side of things. But will there always be little rumblings, of the chaos and disruption? Yeah, that is a part of being here. That's that nature of duality. Yet it doesn't mean we can't keep moving towards the harmony and peace that we want. So if they could really have us understand that we are all co-creating together, and all of our guides and loved ones and spirit, masters, angels, you name it, fairies, they're all part of this co-creative process as well. And there is such a beautiful, just web of existence that we can't quite see, and they would just have us know that it's there. And they would also have you look at this web of existence, this web of connectedness that's all around us in the universe. They said to think of it as a safety net. Like if you wanted to jump off the earth and go somewhere else, there's a net there to catch you. And it is this net of connection. Man, they're really out there today. That's got to be a little bit of the Aquarian influence, I would say. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, at some point it will resonate. They are telling me that they just know, they just want you to know there's something so much bigger going on here. And we do get wrapped up in our everyday, stuff. And then we get wrapped up in whatever watching on TV or whatever our friend tells us, or someone has this illness, it makes it real personal, and we feel that human tug of things. And they said to just remember, we're part of a larger consciousness. And it is available for us to tap into. It's really important that we begin to trust it's there and know that there's always a bigger plan, there's always a bigger meaning. And things are always flowing, even when it doesn't feel like it is. I feel like I feel like I'm staring out into space, and I feel like I'm looking at the universe, but I'm seeing all these stars out there, and I can see the lines between them, like it's this, and each star is a point of connection. And they said this is true, and it's also like this on the planet with our physical bodies. So even from where I'm sitting to where you are watching this, there's a line there connecting us. And so they said they would have, this is just so out there today, y'all. They said, so they would have you look at yourself as this light that's got just all these beams going out in all directions with all these different connections, even connections you don't know about. And so that's why they said it's so important to really be mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of your actions, because you are that connected and your light is that bright. So when you look up in the stars, at night, if you're in one of those places where you can see a lot of stars, or even just a few, imagine the connections. And that what we're seeing in the skies, we are actually mirroring here on the planet. Wow, that's just really lovely. What a spectacular way to start today. So let's see here. I am looking. Hey, you guys. Hi, Julie. Let's see here. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Terry. Diane. Wow, this is so cool. Thanks for joining. All right, let me see if they have anything else. I had read, what's his name? Vivaldo. I can't pronounce his name. A long time ago, and he said the ancient Spanish teaching, Mexican, I guess, and he said he had learned from his abuela, grandmother, that she had she said something like, we are all five-pointed stars walking on the planet. And I always thought that, if you hold your arms out, you've got your head and your arms out and your legs, we are. And the guides are saying today we are that and so much more. We are multidimensional. And so just think of almost like those Moravian stars that have all the points, but just light extending from them. They said you're that bright. You're that expansive. You're that connected. Even when you don't feel connected, you are. They've even done studies, from splitting a cell, and they'll have one cell in San Francisco and one in New York. And if they stimulate the cell in New York, the one in San Francisco will start reacting. This is the world of the quantum field, quantum language. And they said this is the language we are beginning to learn and really understand. So if you are curious about that work, there's Joe Dispenza you can check out. There's Bruce Lipton you can check out. There's Greg Braden. There's so many other. Oh gosh, what's her name? I'm picturing her. Taggart, Lynn McTaggart, I think. There's so many people you can start to follow that are speaking that language if you want to kind of get a jump on that. So. Practice some of those meditations that are out there. The Monroe Institute has the Expand app, which has just got they even have astral projection meditations. So there's lots of things you can do to be open to this language. And it's coming, and you're here, which means it's lining up with you in some way. So this is so much fun. Okay, I am going to read some of the questions that I got. And like I said, guys, I love getting the questions. It's easy for me to get them through email, and I always start with those first. And I go in the order I received them. If we have time, I totally want to get to your questions here. For those of you that are on live with me right now. Okay. My first question So the questions that I get sometimes are, well, most of the times they're pretty personal. Um, some are for the collective, yet there's always an answer, uh, I would say, in something for everyone. Yeah. Hi, Kendra. Okay. Okay. I am curious to know if my husband is at peace and does he visit and keep an eye on me? It's been 2 months now and I'm still at a loss on what to do. And does he want to tell me anything? Okay. All right. Let's see here. Well, your husband is telling me to tell you, and he says you already know this, and he told you before, and often he said that you're the love of his life and always have been. And uh, he certainly wouldn't have wanted to be here without you. And he said you brought a lot of light into his life, and made him feel like he had a family for the very first time, he said. He has a lot of gratitude for you, and he said he loves your laugh and he wants to hear that more. He's very much around. He's telling me he's messing with you. He said it's almost like if you imagine what a little feather tickling your nose and how you just kind of like, what is that? He said he's doing that. He's got a little feather and he's just tickling you. Makes you feel like something's there or something's, you know, sometimes we have a hair in our face, but we can't find it. It's like that. Um, he said, every time you hear a motorcycle, to think about him. And that's another way he says hi to you, that he's around. So that's probably pretty often. Um, he said he loves where he is. There's no doubt he's in a beautiful place. He said it's everything everyone always said it would be, and yet he still wishes he was with you. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean he wants you to be in a hurry to get there by any means, because he is appreciating you with the family you still have here, and you still have work to do there for some reason. You play a real supportive role there. So lots of love around you, you know, both here in the physical and in the non-physical. Oh, okay. All right. Here's the question. Is it in my future to move back to Alabama at any time? And is there anything else about this change or move that I should know about? Okay. Let's see here. Is it in my future to move back to Alabama at any time? I'm hearing, oh, interesting. Wait a minute. I would say yes, but it might not be where you think in Alabama. So if you were in one particular city, it might just be like the next zip code over, or maybe two zip codes over. I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm hearing yes. A different zip code, though, is what it feels like. But there is a place for you to land. I'm not seeing a timeline around that. Could it be 3 to 5 years? Could it be any sooner? I would say yes. But there is a calling. They do show, it's really funny. Now, this is, you know, the states have personalities, and they're showing the state with like a cheerleading megaphone. Or like, you know, the megaphones you see at sports venues. And it's like it is putting out a call to you. So I think you're correct in honoring your intuition there, like listening to it, that yeah, it's calling you. Little bit of a shift in zip codes, yet still lovely. Anything else you should know? Let's see here. Well, you know, I am hearing this has something to do with your soul's calling, like something you've longed to do, something that's been in your heart, a dream that maybe you haven't even had clarity around yet is is there for you to live into. So yeah, there's a real reason to go back. Um, and life will look different. What you're doing will look different. It has something, I would say, to do with your soul's calling. So exciting. Okay, I'm zipping through these questions so we can get to everybody today. Okay, here's one. Last year, a friend, Antoinette, made her transition. Was our relationship that of soulmates, a divine partnership, or karmic? And does she have a message for me? Okay, Antoinette. Was our relationship that of soulmates, divine partnership, or karmic? Okay. So I am hearing from Antoinette. Um, and she has such lovely energy, just this real sweet, just peaceful, happy, light, truly high vibration of a person. Almost feels a little bit magical. She is saying to me, and I wanted to look down at your soulmates, divine partnership, or karmic. She's telling me divine partnership. Um, this is something that is to continue with her being in spirit. It's almost like she is taking on the role of a guardian for you, a master for you, to bring forth wisdom in some way. Um, she is telling me that she really does represent the energy of love and connection, and she is working to, hang on one second, facilitate that for you in the physical in some way. So it's like she's bringing someone to you for you to connect. This divine partnership, I'm not sure what it was like for you here in the physical, yet she looks like she is bringing someone to you to have a divine partnership with here in the physical, that she's assisting in that way, that kind of connection. She loves you dearly, and you can ask her for anything, she says. Mm-hmm. And she said you've had many lifetimes together and you will again. Um, and she very much appreciates um, your time together this lifetime. Let's see if there's anything. It's interesting. I feel like she has this, like when she made her transition, she shows up as this really like elderly, wise woman. That's almost like got ancient wisdom. So something really special about your connection there. Um, and she is offering that energy to you. So whatever that might mean, however you receive it, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It definitely looks like divine partnership. I love that. Yeah, thanks for asking that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, here's one. Okay, I try my best to live my full potential and be as useful to the world as possible. Sometimes I feel I'm making progress, other times I feel as if I don't live my full potential at all. In particular, I feel guilty for not meditating at the moment. I just don't seem to be able to get into a routine. Could the guides please give me a message of encouragement? And if possible, can I know the names of my spirit guides? Okay, so let's see here. Let me go back here. Okay. Well, okay. This is so interesting. Uh, Let me see. Sometimes I feel make about with my full potential. Okay. Well, they would have you refrain from measuring your success here as a human or worthiness here as a human by what you're doing and how you're contributing. And instead, measure it as is my heart happy? Am I listening to what my heart wants to do? It's so funny. Several months ago, I met with a woman and she said, all I do is sit and watch TV. That's all I do. I'm retired. I worked hard and I just watch TV all day long. And she goes, I've tried painting. I've tried walking with friends. I go to lunch, but I just really want to sit and watch TV. And and yet she was feeling really guilty about that. Like she was just wasting this life. And, her guides were like, hey, if that makes your heart happy, do that. And, one day you're going to wake up and not feel like watching TV. And it's like, and then you go do what you do feel like doing. So, one of the things we are so many of us come here thinking that we need to be in this place of service, serve others, serve mankind, thinking that we need to be in this place of service, serve others, serve mankind, serve our neighbor. And yet we fail to remember to serve ourselves. And so the guides would always have you, look at your life, your journey. You're driving your car and you can't drive somebody else's car because then your car doesn't go anywhere, so to speak. So, it is about staying in your lane. It is about being mindful as you drive, be that responsible, kind, friendly driver, so to speak. Yet let go of measuring yourself in how you serve and what you contribute. Instead think of, am I listening to my intuition? Am I following what my heart is guiding me to do? Am I trying to live according to someone else's idea of how I should be? So, on one hand, they said, you want to live in your full potential. Yet, what does that full potential look like? And what are you measuring that, against so that you can determine what does your full potential look like? I personally said that myself. Actually, even a few years ago, I was doing some of that emotion code, body code work, and I said, I want to eliminate anything that's keeping me from living, in my fullest potential to my highest and best. And what the guides had me understand is it's those limiting beliefs inside, the beliefs about ourselves or how we should be here or the fears that we might have, those subconscious kind of little programs. Those are the things to eliminate so that you can really stand here and be bright. They would have us say, they would have us know when we are, if they were human, they would measure their success as being human, is if they could look in the mirror and just absolutely adore themselves. And they said that they would have us measure our success, and they use that term loosely because it's not an accurate word. Yet the goal of our journey is to live here in that sense of adoration for ourselves, because that is like when we are in love with ourselves, when we adore ourselves, that's like the highest vibration. That's like the vibration we have before we incarnate here. And it's like we go through this human stuff and we're influenced in all these different directions, and we forget to really adore ourselves and be in love with ourselves and think how awesome and amazing we are. And that's part of the journey, is to come back around to that. And so they said to serve the world is to tend your vibration, tend your self-love. When you can be in that place, remember, like they said, we're all connected. So what you're being is resonating out. And that's where they would have you be most responsible and really understand that's at the basis of your serving, and is by the vibration that you're sending out, the signal that you're putting out there. I hope that makes sense. So be able to look in the mirror and notice what comes up for you. What do you think? What do you feel? And is there any shame there? Is there any doubt there, fears there? And those are the things they said they would have you look at if you want to live here in your fullest potential. So it's not about what you're doing, because it's more about what you're being. And that being, when it is in pure love like that, they said that's the best way to serve the world and others. Because when you're there, you can't help but have compassion and kindness and love for everyone else you meet. And that's a really powerful thing to do. Wow, that's really, I love that. Okay, as far as not meditating at the moment, that's fine too. And, and you know, I used to meditate every day, and then I got out of it, and then I got back into it. And, you know, I was listening to, like I said, the Expand app in the intro. Then I got out of it. Um, you know, so be easy about it. It's, you're still connected whether you're meditating or not. You know, you're still connected. And it's when you can recognize your connection to things, you know, as you walk around, you know, in your daily life. I mean, that's what's important. Recognize the connection, be present. That's really what that's about. So think about meditation. Meditation is about being present, coming right into the right moment, releasing any resistance to what is. You don't have to meditate to achieve that state. You know, when you practice it enough, you can be resistant to, I mean, you could release all resistance to what is, just even as you're walking down the street, appreciating the flow that you're in. All right, let's see here. Routines, you know, I used to have a hard time with routines too, especially not having being out of the corporate world. In the corporate world, it was easy because you know you've got a schedule you adhere to. Um, Yet routines do serve us, and as someone said to me, it's like they provide us a structure for success, and success as in, if you want to accomplish something, if you want to move towards something, then set yourself up to achieve that, to be that. And routines can be very helpful. So maybe the thing for you is find what you want to achieve first, and then create your routine around that so that you set yourself up to be successful in moving towards your heart's desires. Does that make sense? And then you'll appreciate routine. And routine doesn't have to be every day of the week. It could be 2 days of the week. It can be what you need it to be. Oh, thank you for asking that. And let's see, for the names of your spirit guides, let me see if I can do that. The one name I'm hearing, this is they're not telling me a spirit guide. They are giving me a constellation. They are telling me Ursa Major. Ursa Major is a place in the sky for which you have connections. Isn't that the bear in the constellation? But anyway, I would look up star beings from Ursa Major and see if that resonates with you. I have no idea what that means, but that's what I'm hearing to tell you, to be open to receive. That's really exciting. Thank you for asking that. Okay. All right, let me see here. Okay, here we go. All right, to the best of your understanding, once our loved ones have passed and they are looking over us, in quotes, do they see or do they have access to see and hear everything going on in our lives? Not that I have anything to hide at all, but I just have this vision of my beloved parents seeing everything. Haha. What exactly are they able to see? Okay. Well, Yes, they see everything, everything. They are aware of everything all at once. So does that mean they see you in all of your human activities? Yeah, they do. Um, is that a little weird to think of? You know, if we think of it from our human perspective, probably, yet you have to remember they are free from the human mind and they look with love at everything going on here. Uh, they want us to be enjoying our time here. They have full appreciation for the body and its magnificence and what the body does, what the body desires, what the body needs to do to take care of itself. And so, if we think of ourselves in a vulnerable position that our parents in spirit are watching, they don't look at it like we do. They look at it like, wow, we have an opportunity to have this fantastic human experience. And they celebrate that for us, if that makes sense. I remember one of my best friends several years ago, her father died, and she was like, does my dad see me and her husband's name, being intimate? And I was like, well, yeah, yeah, and she's like, oh no. Yet again, they look at it as like, oh, it's such an expression of love and opportunity, to share with someone here, um, and they have so much appreciation for that. And I'll tell you, my dad passed, and uh, I think it'll be 5 years. Isn't that terrible? This March. But I talk to him in the shower all the time, and I know people probably think that's weird, but for some reason, the shower, I just feel so clear and connected, and I'm just in that moment. And I'll talk to my dad. I talk to my dad driving down the road. Or just whenever. Yet I feel like there's something in the shower. I have a lot of clarity, and it just doesn't feel weird to me, even though it might sound weird. So again, they have so much love here. There's no judgment. They love everything about being human, and that's a reason we all reincarnate too. So hopefully that helps. Okay, um, by calling out to or communicating with our loved ones that passed, are we, for lack of better words, keeping them from progressing on their journey, holding them back from their continued path now that they've left the earth? Okay. No, 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 no. Not at all. Remember, we we can only control, us, so to speak. Spirits are in control of their journeys. Everybody's in control of their journey. So we, as much as we can't influence somebody else here, we certainly can't influence them in spirit, if that makes sense. And when we are in spirit, we lose the physical body, we lose the time sense reality. Like they said, we can be everywhere all at once. And while my father can connect with me here, he can also be connecting to my sisters, his siblings, my mom. I mean, anybody, anywhere, all at the same time. They still control their soul's journey. Um, they are unlimited, and even when they reincarnate, the essence of them, as you know them, will always be. Their soul can still have another experience. I hope that makes sense. So, like Jimi Hendrix is probably here, you know, um, and I don't know, Michael Jackson might already be back, but Van Gogh is certainly here. But their spirits, as we knew them, still exist in that energy. It's really hard to understand. Yet, just know we can't limit another being, whether it's physical or non-physical. We do not have that kind of power. We only have power over our journey, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. What is the best way to keep our vibration high without sticking our head in the sand about all that is happening in the world so we can stay the healthiest and also be of service to help change things for the better? Okay. That's a great question. Okay. Well, one of the things they said is to keep your eye on almost like a destination you create for yourself, in the sense that we know we're in turbulent times. We know this is a period of disruption. We know that there's movement, momentum, and change is happening. We have uncertainty about what this change is going to look like and kind of like where we're going. It's almost like if we got on a cruise ship and got out into the open sea, uh, and we're in these rough waves. One of the things about the cruise ship is we know if we're going to Aruba or if we're going to, Tahiti or something like that. Right now, we're in the turbulent waters, in the turbulent seas, but we don't even know what destination we're going to. And so the guides are saying, imagine the destination, let it be in your mind of where you're going, of where we're going to as a collective, and start to visualize that. And whether it's this utopian world, it's kind of like that phrase, shoot for the moon, you'll probably hit a star on the way. It's like that. Have that vision out there, even if it is utopian and it's not going to be 100% that, it'll get close. And they said the more of us that can understand these seas will calm down at some point. We will all be tousled and maybe even a little seasick along the way. Um, Yet it is a journey. And they said to hold a vision of where you want to go, of where you think this boat is headed. Can it get off course? Sure. I don't know how long the journey is going to be. They are also saying to find little ways that you can contribute. And if that is writing a letter to, a local government office or state office or someone in DC, whether it's to, you know, just have a voice in some way, a voice of reason, a voice of wisdom. Uh, and maybe it's even putting that vision out there. They said to find ways like that to support, to kind of share your thoughts, but also that hope for the future. And they said to focus on not what's going wrong in your mind as far as what we're seeing, instead of focusing on what we need. Because what they said, a lot of what's happening right now in the chaos we're feeling in the U.S. in the world is if people are determining what they need. And that's a really big deal because a lot of people can't identify what they need. They're so used to being focused on what everybody else's, needs are. That it's hard for them to understand, what do I really need. And they said that's something that's happening here is really guiding people. Focus on what you need, focus on what you love. And sometimes it's like we don't even realize it till it's taken away from us or it's threatened in some way. And so the desire for these needs is growing stronger, and there's more passionate coming around it. So this really is a time of great change, and it's really igniting a lot of passion in people, and that is by design. And so use your passion, like I said, write letters or find like minds to talk about that shared vision of a future. Um, the other thing they're saying is when you feel like you're a little stuck, it is like some incense. They would light some incense and change the immediate energy around you, or drink a clear glass of cool water um, as a way to reset. So, this is making masters out of many, they said at this time. That's a great question. Okay. All right, let's see here. Y'all are asking so many great questions here joining in. So y'all hang on. Let me get through the rest of the ones that have been sent in here. Okie doke. I'd like to check in with my guides about my dogs. Are they still happy being here and mostly healthy, with exceptions of typical age? Do the guides see any illness I need to address? All right, let's see. Okay, let me see. I am not getting any information of anything there left to address. Um, your guides are telling me that your dogs are very conscious, enlightened beings, and they will let you know. Um, they are still very happy being here. They still feel like they have work to do. Well, one, the other one, uh, well, no, they both have work to do. It's so funny. They really are like a yin and yang little pair. One brings that masculine energy of protection and just what's the word, energy, action, like the sun, and the other one really brings the energy kind of that moonlight where it's just nurturing, soothing, just easy. And so they work well together. They like working well together. They like being there for you. They feel you need them, and they are appreciating aging and how you're caring for them. uh, if there are any illnesses that are going on, I'm not seeing them. They're not showing that to me. Um, I am just hearing that they will let you know. Um, it will be obvious if there is something to tend to, and for you to let that go and trust that they have a plan also with their journeys. But that plan does involve being here for you right now. So. Yeah, hopefully that's helpful and bringing you a little comfort there. Okay, got a couple more here, y'all. Okay, yesterday we acquired a car that belonged to my friend who passed last year. It happened completely out of the blue. I did secretly want it, yet never mentioned it. How did this happen? Well, I just see gift, gift, gift. I see the words gift, gift, gift. Like, and this is all part of this flow that you're in. So I'm hearing you're tapped into a wonderful flow of abundance. And you're also in this flow of receiving. Like, somewhere, somehow, something flipped, and you're allowing yourself to receive, receive, receive. Well, they're saying part of this is you've been really mindful of all the good things coming your way, and when you really appreciate all the good things that are going on, it's like more good stuff keeps coming, things you can't even imagine. And it's so funny. I signed up for, I think it was Nice News, which I put in my newsletter because I thought, man, all this doom scrolling, and I'm guilty. I'm sorry to admit, but I've been doom scrolling, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm like, oh, it's so contrary to who I am. And so I found Nice News, and I signed up for that, and then Upworthy showed up, so I was like, oh, I'll start following them on Instagram. And I can't tell you, y'all, it's just, of course, it's social media and algorithms and all, yet you would not believe the positive stuff that is flooding my scrolling right now. It's like I just crack up, and I'm like, boy, it really is true. What we focus on expands. And so when you are in this receiving mode, like you're in and you're allowing yourself to receive, you're noticing all this stuff wonderful that you're receiving, they're just getting more and more and more. And also, this special someone that passed really, really loves you, and wants to be a part of your journey. And this is a way to be a part of your journey, is to have this car. It's like, how much more validation can you get from this beautiful being in spirit saying, I'm here on this journey with you? And it's just a real punctuation mark on your connection. So that's super lovely. Okay. Okay, I, like many others, rent instead of own, and I'm finding it difficult to locate a nice, safe place in my hometown. And this is Charleston. I think many of us know Charleston's prices right now. Um, well, anyway, that's within my budget. This causes so much stress and has put many other important areas of my life on pause. Do my guides see me being able to find a place to rent in the next month or so, or do they have any advice or suggestions to help guide me to my next home? Thank you. Okay. Wow. I know that is so challenging, especially, home and uh, home is the root chakra. It's like our basic need. When you think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I mean, home, safety, and security is it, and it's without that being there, it feels like we just can't really reach for anything else in life. So, and that goes for any of you. If your home life is not where you want it to be, if it's not supportive and nurturing you, then make that your priority. It's got to be your priority because everything comes from there. It is the base of your foundation and of your being here. So, for you asking that question in particular, let's see here. Here. And I'm not sure if they're going to answer that specifically. So let me see here. Do my guides see me able to find a place to rent in the next month or so, or have any advice or suggestions? Okay. Boy, you are certainly on a journey. It's like the guides are telling me to tell you. Gosh, it's like there's just such a dismantling of you and your concepts of what things should look like. And it's like they're really asking you to let all of that go of what you think your life should look like. Now, it's interesting because I know they've said to others, have this vision out there, know what you're moving towards. You'll get some semblance of it. But in your case, this is a very personal soul's journey. Um, and they would have you. Gosh, it's like really surrender how you think you should be here. And because they are trying to lead you to something entirely different, something you have been resisting. And I'm not sure what that is. If I can articulate it for you to such a degree. Um, Hang on one second here. It's like be willing to be different. Be willing to be different. Be willing to be here in a very different way. Be willing to be different. Um, Hang on here. They are also wanting to guide you to be in a place of receiving. Allow yourself to receive, receive, receive. Hang on here. There's some vulnerability in that, and that is necessary too. It's part of this journey. So I am hearing 3 months for some reason. It feels like 3 more months are in this 3 month time period. Here. Let's see here. I cannot tell when, where, or how. Give me a second here. The only thing I can tell you is it feels like this is happening for a reason that's really on purpose. And it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm just being stripped down of everything, of any sense of being. Like everything is being taken away from me, everything is being dismantled. And it's almost like the guides are saying, it's like all the masks are being pulled away, pulled away, pulled away, all the roles that you've ever played. And they said it's kind of like, those little Russian dolls, when you open one, there's another one in, you open that one, there's another one in, and they get, to the very center doll. They said this is what your journey is about right now. It's like getting really to the core of who you are. And when you're in that core, being able to look in the mirror and adore yourself. And they said that's where you're going. And so it's almost like, so all these pretenses that have been around, have been built up around you. It's like you've got to let them go. And you're like that Russian doll, taking off one outfit, one outfit, and then really showing up at the core and the essence of who you are. They said, which is love and beauty. If you could see yourself as this beautiful goddess, if you could see Venus touching her hand to you and knew that that's how you were here in the world, everything could shift for you on a dime. And they want you to really get in touch with that. They said, read about Aphrodite, Venus being the Roman name for Aphrodite. They said, embody her, be her, find your power as a goddess, and everything will flip on a dime. And I know that sounds esoteric, I guess, or just too out there. There's nothing really concrete when you're looking to like, I gotta have a home. Yet they're saying trust in them and have faith. And if you could reach for that sense of power and connection in the divine essence of who you really are, everything will flip on a dime. So I hope that's helpful. I know that's a big message for a very human need. And hopefully that makes sense. So, okay. All right, you guys, let's see here. I'm going to start at the top. I'm so happy y'all are here. Okay. Hi, Betsey. Can they give any insight for those of us who live in Los Angeles and California? Let's see. Insight. Well, remember, these natural disasters are happening to really wake people up. And it's not wake up a community. It's not about that. It's about waking up the world. And of course, these areas, any area, but LA is significant. It is a dominant part of our country. It's a dominant part of the world. And so when something happens there, it gets attention. And so that is part of the plan. So a lot of places that a lot of people focus on, they're prime, I would say, I don't want to say to be used for a wake-up call for the planet, yet that's kind of what's happening. And so there's so much gratitude for those of you in those areas. And again, it's just reinforcing such a sense of community. And when a place like LA has such a tragedy, it speaks to so many people. And not only does it create a community, there, and even in the whole state of California, it's like it creates a community in the US and around the world, because there's so many of us that feel connected to LA, that have memories there, that have been touched by it in some way. And so what they're saying is it is creating community in a much bigger way. It is bringing awareness in a much bigger way. And so there's a lot of gratitude from the divine for the people there and going through this. Blessings do come from every tragedy, and what it gives, as an opportunity to bring out in people and places, it's just magnificent. It really is. And it creates big change, and people's lives change. And while it looks tragic and destructive, there's so many stories of just such beautiful, and moving, just connections of people, coming together. Look at all the people, I think it's Pasadena in the Humane Center there, the number of animals they've taken in. And it's like people let go of their bounds, they know no bounds, and they're discovering, what they're really capable of in tragedies like this. So oh, that's a tough one. Okay. Let's see. Hang on here. Here's one. What am I supposed to be focusing my energy on right now. Okay. What am I supposed to be? Okay. Hmm. You know, they said they would not give you anything in particular other than what they have brought forth today in a large message for everyone is to remember our connection to the world, and every thought, word, and action we have vibrates out. It resonates out. And if they had the request, they said they would have us walk in more awareness, walk in more awareness of ourselves and how we're being here, and be mindful of that. So they did say they would have you walking more. They would like to see you walking more. That's funny. Okay. Um, all right, let's see. Here's one. I'm going to skip around a little bit. There's so many questions here. Let's see. I changed my. All right, wait a minute. Hang on here. I changed my career direction a few years ago. I'm curious what the guides would say about my next steps. Okay, let's see. There's so much, y'all. Okay. Let me get here. Oh, we're right at an hour. Let me see. I changed my career direction a few years ago. I'm curious what the guides would say about my next steps. All right, let's see here if they would. Okay, hang on here. I feel like it's going to change again. And like this was a stepping stone to something else. Like it might be the interim thing. So I feel like there's still another dream or idea that you haven't completely moved towards yet. Yet it feels like there's still something else. Like this career direction was almost like, if you're driving down, uh, a freeway, and it's like you're tired of being on that freeway, you just take the next exit just to get off, change the scenery, before you kind of figure out this is where I want to go. It feels like that's what this is about for you for some reason. It's not a bad thing. It's been a good little detour, yet there's still more to come. There's more change to come. It feels like this was just to kind of shift the scenery. So, um, and I'm not hearing to force anything, just kind of be open to it, like you'll know it when you see it. Yet there is a little niggling in there of something you want to do, an idea of a little bit more around this. And they said to be open to moving towards that, and being able to see that for yourself. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, you guys. I love all of y'all joining in, and I love all these questions. Yet it's been an hour, and I really like to keep these kind of to an hour. So if y'all would do me a favor, please, please, please get me an email for next week. It's Betsey at betseygrady.com. And I always put that in my little caption here on the channel. But I would love to get to your questions. So get them sent in to me, and we'll just knock them out. And let me get my little angel cards here. I love being here with you guys. I love the energy of this. I just love it. I love bringing this through. I love sharing this with you. I love this connection. So thank you for being interested in making it possible. Okay. Now, if I get the gratitude angel, I'm going to laugh. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, wow. So in my morning newsletter I did today, I drew angel cards and I got tenderness. So we got it again. And then awakening. How about that? Isn't that funny? The guide said if they could have any request or wish for us, it would be to walk in more awareness. So, all right, be gentle with yourself and others, tenderness, and walk in your awareness this week. I don't know if y'all saw my newsletter, but I put in there about something called color walking. A way to be mindful as you're walking is to ask your guides to give you a color and then go for your walk and see how many things you can find in that color. And I'm like, I just love that idea. So, okay, thanks for joining me. Send me your questions and email next week, and we will meet again next Monday. What day is that? I know next week is Valentine's. Yep, it'll be the 10th. So I look forward to it. Thanks, you all. Okay, bye.